My friends, how are y'all doing out there? I hope that you are doing well as we go through Donald Trump's trade war that's going on out there. We are just starting to see the effects of what's going to happen with all this nonsense that he has started. I would say that we're balls deep into Donald Trump's trade war, but I don't think we're there yet. I think we're about half shaft at this point. We haven't quite gotten the full thing, and we're starting to see the effects. So it's not good. I have been listening to a lot of the interviews from the director of the Port of Los Angeles, who has been running all over the media circuit, sort of sounding the alarm bells for what is coming if we do not figure this out. And it's possible that it may be too late. We're definitely, I think, at this point, definitely going to see disruptions, as we're already starting to. There's people out there losing their jobs. There's people losing work. There's the prices on items are starting to go up literally as we speak. So we're going to talk about that today. And I got to tell you, you guys know the reason that I started this channel? One of the reasons. It's not the story I told you about how that MAGA dork was making fun of my dead dog, and that was sort of the breaking point where I decided to make this channel. I thought that if it was good enough for John Wick, it was good enough for me, and I was going to come over here and raise hell because one MAGA dork made fun of my dog that died. That's only part of the reason. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back, let's say. One of the main reasons I wanted to start up this channel is because I cannot fucking believe that we have Donald Trump as president again, and I decided I'm not going to let them off the hook this time, because all they do is lie. All Donald Trump does is lie. All the Trump regime does is lie. All right-wing media does is lie. And even more alarming, my friends, all MAGA, hardcore MAGA Trump supporters, all they do is fucking lie to us, even to their own detriment, about what's going on. And I know that I'm nobody. I'm just a guy on the internet that has a lot of political opinions, apparently. But sometimes I feel a little bit responsible. Maybe if I had spoken up 2 years ago or 4 years ago, or even back when Trump started his first term and said, what the fuck is going on? Maybe I could have helped change the minds of a few people out there. I don't really fucking know. But I'm here because I'm not letting them off the hook as they continue to lie about what's going on with this supply chain crisis, the effects of it, what's going to be the results of it. And it is astonishing to me that we watched Donald Trump actually crashed the supply chain last time through his denial of COVID. All the gaslighting be damned. I got so many people. The channel's growing, my friends. I got so many. I love that you guys are here. Before I say this next sentence, okay? You have to understand. I love that you guys are here, that you're subscribing, that you're watching the videos. The unfortunate side effect is when you start growing a YouTube channel or any kind of social media, you attract all the dipshits. That's part of the fucking problem too. And I have been getting gaslit to all hell, my friend, saying Donald Trump never denied COVID. As a matter of fact, he's the one that started the Operation Warp Speed to get the vaccine out. If only timelines didn't exist, my friend, maybe that entire story would be 100% true. But I'm old enough to remember, my friends, I was there. I was there when Donald Trump said it's a hoax, when he said it's only a few cases or whatever, and it's going to be down to 0 cases, you know, the timeline he gave. It will go away like magic, all those things. All that bullshit Donald Trump did caused a supply chain and an economic crash because he's either a very malicious person or a dipshit or both. I don't fucking know what. But because of all that, I come to YouTube to make this channel because I'm not letting him fucking get away with it again. All right? And a lot of people hate me for it, but that's okay. That's just the way this goes. Here we are now in the middle of yet another supply chain collapse by Donald Trump. This one 100%. There's no way around this. You cannot lie your way out of this one. Donald Trump 100% caused this, and there's no way for him to hide behind a virus or blame Dr. Fauci or any number of things. Donald Trump 100% is to blame for this because of the fucking trade wars that he keeps starting. So now, my friends, we are starting to see the effects of of what is going on out there. The director of the Port of LA said this week, which started yesterday, I believe it's Tuesday, I don't fucking know what day it is anymore, but the beginning of this week, we were going to see major drops in freight coming into the ports. Depending on your source and depending on what he's seeing from day to day, because these are numbers and shipping and things are subject to change. So the numbers you get are anywhere between 25% and 40% of containers are down. We're down by that much at the freights coming into LA right now as we speak, which translates to thousands of containers that are coming in. So the first effect is port workers start losing their jobs. And he said as much. The director of the Port of LA, I wish I should have wrote his name down. You guys know how unorganized I am sometimes. But he said the first step is they're not going to be working as long of shifts as they have been. And eventually means within a week or two, in my humble opinion, they'll start having to cut back on their workforce because there simply is not enough work for this. And then I guess it's something like every 4 containers that come into the port translates to a full trucking job, right? So now we've got all these port truckers that are going to start losing work, and their job kind of really fucking sucks. I've only been to a few ports in all my time trucking. I didn't fucking like it. It was a nightmare. So much time wasted, lines, just heavy traffic around you, and then they're coming out of the ports of LA, so heavy traffic for their entire fucking existence. It doesn't appear to me that they have a fun job. So of course, my friends, it started. That's the fucking point I'm trying to make with this video, is that 100% has started. And we're going to start seeing that ripple effect. It's coming. I'm ringing the fucking alarm bells over here. It's coming. It is 100% happening. So according to the director over there, retailers are reporting to him that they have 4 to 6 weeks worth of merchandise stored for this situation. Now, what he's talking about is the big box retailers, the small family businesses, what have you, small business owners. They are all taking the hit right now. They are 100% not able to pay these tariffs, and they are taking the hit, closing up shop right now as we fucking speak. All right, but he gave us a timeline. He gave us a fucking timeline. He says that fuck, I forgot the exact timeline, but he gave a similar timeline to what I thought was at very least, to restart the supply chain and get everything running again will take at very least a month. He talked about 2 weeks to reposition the ships, 2 weeks for them to come across the ocean to some ports. The Gulf of Mexico and the East Coast ports apparently have a sort of lag where they're not seeing the effects of the shortage of freight coming in yet. That's like 2 weeks out from now before they start to see it. Anyways, he's saying that it's at very least that month, but then we may be starting over the entire manufacturing process. It would be a months-long process to fix the fucking mess that Donald Trump has created. And my friends, I'm getting frustrated about something. All right, we live in a very short-sighted country where people think if it isn't immediately affecting them, then it does not exist, and they're being lied to, and all these things are happening. And it's driving me up a fucking wall up here because I got to listen to the bullshit every day. Sometimes we're getting bigger around here, as I mentioned, and sometimes I just have to check out of my own comment section and go find something else to do. I've been playing Cyberpunk on the PS5. Keeps me distracted. Those guys in Cyberpunk, they have real fucking problems. Anyways, I have to go distract myself is the fucking point that I'm making. But I'm hearing just the dumbest shit to come out of human beings' mouths that I have ever heard in my life. And I don't know if they think this is a green screen behind me or what exactly is going on here, but I am 100% a truck driver. I have been for 10 years. It's been my entire fucking life, unfortunately, because let me tell you something, people that are not truck drivers out there, when you do this shit, it is your whole life. You drive from truck stop stop to truck stop every day. You sleep in here, you probably eat in here, and all kinds of other things happen in the cab of this truck. It's your entire fucking life. The point I'm making with that is I understand this business and I understand how things work and cause and effects and all these fucking things. But I got people running to me going, I don't know what you're talking about. There is no shortage of nothing. I'm still working 40 hours a week driving my truck. And listen, I don't want to be that guy that fucking brags about how much I work, because it's a horrible waste of life to work your life away. But what I'm trying to say is, if you're a 40-hour-a-week truck driver, you're a part-timer, baby. That's not even close to working a full-time trucking job, not at all. And if you're employed by a company, unless it's union, there's very few union companies out here still. They might be running you 40 hours, but if you're working for a trucking company that's not union and you're running 40 hours a week, you're working for a trucking company that is on their last leg. They're about to go fucking bankrupt because it's not profitable to run anyone at 40 hours a week doing this. So it's all bullshit, is the point I'm trying to make. If you're bragging about your 40-hour-a-week trucking job, you lost the plot, my friend. You don't understand what the fuck's happening, because if I was down to, I don't get paid by the hour, but if I was down to like only working 40 hours a week, I would have some severe, serious concerns about what was going on out here. But all of that was just sort of an aside. My friends, I don't cheer for Americans to lose their jobs. I understand that a huge portion of Americans made a very dumb fucking choice with their votes, and hopefully, if we survive this shit, we can learn from it. But I don't cheer for this shit. I'm not proud of it. I'm not excited for it to happen, because even though people made really stupid decisions with their votes, I understand the fucking struggle. My whole life has been paycheck to paycheck, if that. I'm a trucker, baby. If it's been paycheck to cash advance to paycheck to cash advance, you know, that life, that kind of life, right? So I don't cheer for this shit to happen. But what's making me fucking angry is it is actually happening. We're going to get the dock workers first. They're fucked. They're going to start losing work. It's going to be the truck drivers next. That's what's coming next. I don't know specifically how the rail works and all that stuff. I understand a lot of railroad is somewhat automated, but there's going to be a reduction in their workforce. And it's just going to, why don't we get this? It's just going to start taking over the entire country. Job losses, and people going broke. Another financial crisis in America is what's coming. And also, the Trump regime has said that they are going to open up talks here this week with China. I think it was Howard Nutlick. I didn't want to fuck up his name. Howard Nutlick, that was saying, I'm so impressed with myself for getting that out the right way. Anyways, he was saying that they will be meeting with Chinese officials this week, but to not make a trade deal. To not make a trade deal. What he was saying was, it's just to bring down the temperature a little bit, to, you know, be cordial to each other and have a discussion, but not necessarily to make any kind of trade deal. It's here, my friends. The supply chain has been broken. The effects will ripple through the economy very, very fucking soon, and we're all gonna find ourselves out on our asses. That's what's fucking happening. But the whole point of this video, the main point that I want to get to before I stop annoying the shit out of you guys and get out of here, goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video. I'm here to make sure we don't forget how destructive Donald Trump is and how destructive the Republican enablers are that just go along with his bullshit, because what Donald Trump's doing isn't even legal. He can't just put tariffs on fucking countries. It's not a legal thing for him to do, but his enablers are allowing him to go along with it. The thing that I fear the most out of all of this, my friends, is when it gets fixed, because we have no choice but to fix it. This pipe dream of bringing back manufacturing isn't going to fucking happen. We have no choice but to grovel at the feet of China, say, look, Donald Trump's a dipshit. We need you to start shipping products back to America ASAP, whatever you need to do. That's what needs to happen. And what's going to happen when that happens is there is going to be a huge abundance of freight that rolls into this country. The dock workers are going to be working double time, 80-hour shifts maybe, I don't know. Truckers are going to be nonstop fucking busy. Retailers are going to hire again because of they have a need for staff again. All these things, it's going to ripple affect the opposite way. And what I'm concerned with is that's what's going to be remembered, because Donald Trump is doing this right away at the beginning of his presidency, something that's going to take at least a few years to fix. So right towards the end of Donald Trump's presidency, he could be setting up for another Republican president to come in, and they can point to all the economic indicators then and say, this, look how well we've done, and completely leave out the part where they tank the entire fucking economy to do it. So I got to be here for the next 4 years, because I think I'm onto his little plan here, because that's exactly the only way that I can see this playing out. Manufacturing's not coming back to America en masse. He doesn't have a plan, like an actual real economic plan. So the only thing he can do is absolutely tank the fucking economy, then bring it back to say, look at all this job growth I did. People are out there working, they got jobs. That's the way I see this playing out. And I know I spend a lot of time in my truck here, so I tend to feel like I'm crazy sometimes too, but it's the only possible thing that makes sense. He's destroying the economy on purpose. Now, it only makes sense if there's a plan to continue the United States experiment. There could be a plan to hand us over to Russia, in which case, I mean, it would go completely different. But if there's hope for America to still remain, he's crashing this shit on purpose to create good numbers at the end of his term. Anyways, I got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.